All right, life is about always finding relativity. So if you're looking at the title of this video, you will see that it says three, the science of the number three, gates, the underworld, courts, ancient Egyptian, and the secret mystery religions. What is the relativity amongst them all? Well, let's look at this number three. When you look at the world, everything is divided into three, like three months, which break up for 4 quarters. 4 quarters in sports. There's three tiers when you look at the floor of the House and Congress. There's three major body parts when you look at the anatomy of a woman and a man, being the head, the body, the torso, and your legs, right? As so there's three major worlds in religion, right? Heaven, hell, and earth. Now, those three parts of your body make up the brain, right? They make up the heart, right? And they make up your legs, make up your reproductive system. Now, three, when you look at Hinduism, there's three major deities: Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. Same thing goes for the Catholic religion, or in Christianity, you have the tri. Tri means three, Holy Trinity or Holy Trinity, the Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. So, carrying on, how does this play a role in relativity? Because three also shows itself where? In astronomy, if you take the letter N away from astronomy and you put the G, right? Because G is God, G is the letter that deals with generativity, which is the sun. The G is also in between the compass and the square. But three, in relation to astronomy, deals with the third rock from the sun, which is all that we know exists as far as life is concerned at this point. Three, even in criminal organized crime syndicates, there's always a triad, like the great Chinese triad. Most people don't know about this, but you can look it up. But you also have tri, as in like the trilateral commission, which is a connection between America, Japan, and Europe. Now, follow me here. What is it with three? Where does this find itself with the underworld, gates, and ancient Egypt? I'll tell you, because in ancient Egypt, or in all mystery religions, you always had to travel through the underworld, and that's where you paid the toll. Like the three Boondock Saints in the movie, those mercenaries put pennies in the eyes of the dead because that was the toll that you paid when you traveled through the underworld. So stick with me here. Now, even in Greco-Roman mythology, there was a deity who almost resembled Satan. His name was Charon. And Charon used to take the souls of the dead, and he used to help them travel through the underworld, because the underworld was symbolic of payment for passage, right? This is why citizens abroad in the US always have to pay tolls. Research the science behind the word toll. You will see it deals with summoning the dead. Now, why is that? Because in the ancient mystery religions, the judgment of Amenti in Egypt, it dealt with the dead traveling through the underworld, where you reached a part which was called the weighing of the heart, right? And the heart always had to be light like a feather, light like light on your feet, right? Because if your heart wasn't light and it was heavy like a stone, hence the saying, you have a heart full of stone. In Egypt, in the underworld, you could not pass because your heart was heavy, and there was a deity that looked almost similar to a dragon who would eat your heart if your heart was heavy. Hence the saying, to eat your heart out. Now, follow me here. Same thing happened in Greece. In Greece, or Roman mythology, Charon was the deity who was called a ferryman. Ferryman is related to the word fare, right? Fare is a payment of passage. So the ferryman he helped you travel through the underworld, where you had to pay the fee. And this is where you get this concept of a oar, right? A oar was used to travel within the crescent boat, and the boat is shaped like a moon. And why is it a moon? Because the moon is light. Moon is the light in the darkness, as written in the Bible, where God he helped man and woman govern themselves through two great lights, the sunlight and the moonlight. Same thing with the ancient Americans, where they had their female deities traveling in a moonlight. You know, their female deities travel on the moon like a vessel. Nevertheless, when you paid the fare, right? Fare was regulated by the ferrymen, right? And underneath in the underworld, right? In order to pass, to keep going, you had to pass certain tests, right? And so this is why citizens pay tolls, because like I said, tolls is for the dead, and tolls deals with underneath. So in order for you to go high, high as in heaven, in order for you to travel on the highways, you have to pay a toll, because they're saying that the citizens are dead. So when you go to court, what happens? You have to go before 3 steps. There's 3 steps in a courtroom. There's 3 steps before you reach the altar in Orthodox religions. Look it up. So these 3 steps is before you reach the judge, right? And the judge is sitting on the bench. He's sitting like Osiris was sitting. Osiris was sitting on the square, and he judged the dead. The dead is all, the judgment is in accord with awakening the dead, right? So he judged you sitting, as is the judge is sitting, and he's wearing a black robe, as does in the ancient stories, the mythology, the myths about the sickle and the Grim Reaper, who is also in a black robe. But to go really deep, to go really inside and go esoteric, follow me. Look at a cemetery. A cemetery is for the dead, right? And the dead in that cemetery are surrounded by a gate. It's a gate because the gate is for the dead, right? So I'll show you a photo of this at a cemetery. And when you go before the dead, what do you see? You see names and tombstones, which are in all caps. Capital. Like capital crimes. This is why you have capital crimes, and this is why you have capital punishment. This is why the nomen, or the name that is written on your mail, your name is in all caps, because it signifies a corpse. And a corpse is rooted inside the word corporation. In every endeavor in life, court, religion, and law, there's a relation between the living and the dead. I know this might sound crazy, but I'll show you this in language. But so in court, what is court about? Court is always about debt. And the word that signifies debt is debtor. Debtor the word has been formed through mythology from the oar of the dead, of the Greek god Charon. Look it up. He used to beat souls into his boat with a oar. And so that became the concept of a dead oar. That's why a dead oar is what? Somebody who has to be charged. Like that of a cell phone, you charge it. You have to charge the battery. You know, charge the cell. You can't pay, you sit in a cell. This might sound crazy, but it's true. You know, I couldn't get everything out. I'm just kind of speaking on the fly, so to speak. But, you know, share your thoughts, comment, you know, get this message out to as many people as you can.